Hey, what's up, guys? This is Corey with Wicked Insane Films. Doing a video tutorial today on how to make my homemade enchiladas. I know a lot of my friends have witnessed me make it and also make it for them. So I'm going to break it down in a tutorial on how you guys can make it. It's actually pretty good. It's the way I make them. I don't make them thin. I make them pretty fat enchiladas. So hopefully you guys like this. And all right, I'll show you guys how to make it and what all you need. Okay, for what you guys need is you'll need an onion, whole can of enchilada sauce. You need 3 chicken breasts, big old bag of cheese. Oh, of course, baking sheet. You need some tortillas. And you will need a plate, pan, pot. You also need some cilantro. You can get however many you want, however much satisfies you. And then you will also need 2 forks, is what I use. Tuna sour cream, of course. Can't forget the sour cream. And that is it. And of course you need your cutting board and your knife or whatever utensils you want to use to cut. Okay, and when you get your chicken all diced up or cut up into chunks, what you want to do is you'll want to put the pot in there, fill it up with water, of course. It doesn't matter how full it's going to be because you're not going to use the pot after it's done boiling. But you just set the chicken in there and let it boil until it turns completely white. You know, it's cooked all the way through, of course. You know, you don't want to cook it only halfway. But it doesn't really matter how big the sizes are. I mean, as you can tell, I got different sizes. You're just boiling it. But yeah, you let that come to a boil, and then when that's done, you'll pull it out, drain the water out, of course, and then that's when you start pulling the chicken apart. But while this is boiling, you can go and start cutting up your cilantro and onions while you wait. Alright, so now when you have your cilantro, it's still the whole leaves, as you can tell. What you want to do is you want to dice it up, you know, get as much as you can underneath, and because you'll be using it for inside the enchiladas. Oh, and you know, just a fair warning too is if you do end up cutting chicken on the same cutting board, please wash it with soap and water to sanitize it, because you don't want to cross-contaminate your food, because that can get people sick. So but yeah, to get back to what we were doing, yeah, so you just keep taking it, keep, you know, dicing the cilantro down. It's very tricky at the same time, but you know, you'll eventually get it, and then it'll start coming out like this. That's what you want to do, where it's a little chunked up. I mean, you'll still have some big ones. I mean, that's when you just go through and start ripping through them, but you want it to get it where it's nice and small. It's not so bulky, and because the cilantro will help bring out the taste for it and my style of enchiladas I make. But yeah, this should be almost done, and then we'll go to the next phase of dicing onions. So now that you have your whole onion, you want to take and cut a few strips off. Doesn't matter how big they are. You know, if you like fatter, you know, onions, that's fine. I prefer smaller because they're more easier to chop up and dice. And then so I only use maybe like 2 cuts, and then I'll just take it and dice it up and get it nice and small, because I don't like my onions really big because it's more to chew on. And let's see. And then, oops, I dropped an onion. Oh well. But yeah, you'll want to get them, you know, to a nice decent size. Whatever size, you know, you're comfortable with, that's fine. But I choose, you know, to make them a little bit smaller, and which isn't bad. Alright, and now when your chicken is done boiling, you know, always make sure it's pink, you know, nice and white in the middle, not pink. And so what you do is the 2 forks, this is how I tear up my meat. Is you take it like this, just keep, you get it nice and, you know, torn apart. And this is, to me, it's a lot more easier, a lot faster too, because you can just, it doesn't have to be perfect sizes either. I mean, you can have individuals, you can have chunks if you want. You can have it very thin. It just all depends on how much you're making for people. And but you want to get it, you know, all chewed down and everything until the point, you know, where you're getting little strips. And so you want something like a little bit like that, where it's in strips and everything. And when you do that, when you finish it all the way through, I will show you on the next video what to do. Or not on the next video, on the next step what to do. Sorry about that. Okay, so what you want to do, after you're done with that, you get salt and pepper to taste. However much you want to use. If you like a lot of salt or little or none. Also too, pepper to taste. I mean, like a lot of pepper too, that's cool. But what I usually do is I usually put in a little bit of garlic salt. Helps it taste a little bit better, not too much. A little bit of garlic goes a long way. Okay, and you take your enchilada sauce, you pour it in here, and what you want to do is don't pour all of it in there because you'll need it for the tortillas. But alright, and then you mix it up in there, and you cook it, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, and then what you want to do is you want to bring all of this to a boil, and this is what it looks like after you mix it up. It's a more reddish, kind of pinkish color, that's what it looks like. And then once you do that, you want to turn your oven on preheat to about, what is it, 375 to 400. And then when that's done going through, I'll show you the next step on what to do. Alright, and then after you get your oven preheated and you got your chicken all warmed up, what you want to do is you want to take some of the chicken, grab your tortilla, and you also want your baking sheet too, so that you can bake it in the oven. You want to take it, take your meat, you know, however much you want. You want a little bit or a lot, doesn't matter. I mean, either way, it's all going to be the same. You take it like this. Let me turn this around for you. And then what I did is I took the onions and cilantro and I mixed them up together. That way they look like that. You just take a little bit, you don't need a lot. A little bit, sprinkle it over the top. So you can get some more onions. Like that. And then when you're done with that, take it and roll it however you like. And just roll it in, and voila, you got your first enchilada that's done. Well, partially done, not fully done yet, but you got your number one done. So after you do however many, I mean, I do it until I run out of meat. And once you do that, then I'll show you the next step after that. And trust me, it's going to get better. Alright, so when you're done doing all your enchiladas, wrapping them all, you know, and adding the cilantro and the onions, what you want to do is you want to take the rest of the sauce that you used for the chicken, you want to put it on the tortilla itself. And what I usually do is I usually get it nice and coated, you know, where you get that good enchilada flavor taste to it, and pat it on there, wipe it down. Some people just only like it, you know, very thin layer. I like mine, you know, really thick because it gives you more, to me it gives me more of a taste. But put on however much you prefer. But I just rub it on there, and my hands are clean by the way, so, but yeah, you just take it, rub it on each one of them. You don't have to get all the way around it, you know, just good enough to coat it and get it, because when you put it in the oven, this is what helps protect it from completely burning and pretty much catching on fire in your oven. You don't want to do that. And this also helps seal in the flavor and gives you more of a better taste. And you can take it, you can use the whole can if you want. You can use a little bit of it and save it for later, for, you know, the next time you want to make enchiladas. But I mean, like me, I'll coat it, just slap it on, and just let it cook itself. Hold on real quick, let me rinse off my hand. Okay, then after you're done with that, This is when you take the cheese. You start covering it full of cheese. I mean, you can do a little bit, but I prefer a lot because I like the enchiladas. The way I make them is really cheesy. And once it's cooked, I mean, you can just stick it in the oven. Stick it in the oven, just watch it give it about 5-10 minutes, just enough for the cheese to melt, then you're done. And once you're done with that, it's actually pretty good. So this is what you do. Stick it in the oven. You want to stick it on the top rack so it gets the most direct heat. And then just set the timer for like 10 minutes. And watch it that. I mean, it could be less than that depending on how high you put it on the oven. But it all just depends. But once the cheese melts, it's done. Pull it out and enjoy. Alright, so when it's done, that's what it looks like. And then you can take it and cut a nice piece off into it. Get a knife. And there's the juiciness right there. So good. But yeah, so that's the tutorial. That's the tutorial on how to make my homemade enchiladas for a lot of my friends out there that I've cooked for. And for a lot of people who I haven't, this is one of my favorite dishes I can make. But if you guys like it, subscribe for some more content. My Instagram will be down in the link down below. I will also post that up on my Instagram too. So if you want to follow it, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. Have a great day.